I was like the Christian evangelical girl, and meeting lots of wonderful and different people with all different backgrounds and beliefs.
Right.
And anyway, my roommate became friends and started dating a guy that was one of the cooks there at the Roosevelt Lodge. And lo and behold, in the middle of the summer, she was not acting like herself. And she was a very vibrant, outgoing girl. She had long, wavy, curly hair. She was just always the life of the party. She was about 21 at that time. And she was a skateboarder. And she actually brought her skateboard with her and had like Tonka truck wheels on her skateboard so she could like skateboard in the dirt.
Wow.
I mean, this chick was like really cool, okay? And so just describing her personality and her countenance was just always fun and happy and upbeat. And she started not acting like herself one particular week. And I just thought, well, this is weird. She's just not being herself at all.
Yeah.
And we shared a nightstand. We did not have phones in our cabin. And there was a phone book all of a sudden on our shared nightstand. I thought, well, that's kind of weird. And I grabbed it and it fell open to an earmarked page to abortion providers in Bozeman, Montana.
Oh, wow.
And I went, oh my gosh, she's pregnant. And so I tried to engage with her and how's everything going? Is any, what's going on? Nothing for about a week. And then finally I pulled her aside privately and just blurted it out. I said, "Are you pregnant?" And she just burst into tears.
Wow.
Burst into tears. And sure enough, she was pregnant, was dating that cook in the kitchen that was out there from Boston, and she was, from Nevada. And anyway, so she was, planning to have an abortion. And so, of course, I begged and pleaded with her not to have the abortion. And I remember at one point when we were talking, a tear was streaming down her cheek, and she said, "I know it's wrong, but I have to do it. I know it's wrong, but I have to do it." Yeah. And I'm just going, this is my first time experiencing a situation. This is way before I ever started Stanton. I didn't know all the tools about how to talk to a woman facing unexpected pregnancy, but I began falling in love with this baby, and I had tremendous compassion for her. I remember even writing her a letter. She loved the Beastie Boys, and so in the letter I'm like, if it's a boy, you can name your baby Mike D from the little Mikey D from the Beastie Boys. And my uncle was an attorney, and so I said to her, you can move back with me to Boise, and my uncle can help you with maybe an adoption plan, or you can come live with me and my family, or if you're gonna go to Boston, I can go and help you, or if you're gonna, I was just trying to.
You were promising everything. Yeah.
Yes. Throwing every resource I could so she wouldn't feel alone, anything I could think of. And I remember she told me that the abortion was going to be, I believe it was a Thursday at 11 a.m. in Bozeman, remember? And I was working a shift up at the lodge. We both waited tables up there. And so I had an early morning, like 6 a.m. shift for all those fishermen out there that get up way too early and want their breakfast. And so I had that appointment, and I remember doing just the whole time praying and thinking about her and just hoping that she wouldn't go through with it. Yeah. And I remember when my shift was over that afternoon, late afternoon, and I'm walking back to our cabin, and I remember it perfectly, Seth, just perfectly walking down this little dirt trail to our cabin and walking up the steps and putting my hand on the doorknob and turning the doorknob, and I was thinking in my head, hoping and praying. I open the door and she'll just like jump up and down and give me a big hug and say I decided not to do it, and we would just celebrate. I open the door, slowly step in, and as I step into our cabin, our one-room cabin, I can feel it in the air, and I can see it in her limp body as she's laying in the fetal position on her bed. She had had the abortion.
Oh gosh.
And gives me chills to this day, because that was that life-changing moment. And she was never the same after that. Remember, I described her skateboarder, life of the party, loved great music. She was never the same the rest of the summer. Her eyes were different. Her eyes were glazed over. And that's when I realized the lie. I'd always been pro-life because of what it does to the preborn baby, which is the number one concern, right? The innocent, vulnerable child in the womb. But then I saw the lie of what it does to women. It does not free women. It does not give them, this line of choice.
Shocker.
Yeah, exactly. Big surprise. But to see it firsthand, a woman's spirit was destroyed.
Yeah.
And so then I became very impassioned.
Yeah.
And I did that thing. God brings us to that place where I wasn't angry at God, but I prayed. I said, Lord, I fell in love with this little baby, and I feel like this child just slipped through my hands.
Yeah.
God, what am I supposed to learn through this? And I felt him impress upon my heart. Now you know how I feel when every baby dies.
Yeah.
And this child is one of many.